Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Wait, guys. Don't light it.
What? What's wrong?
I'm 15, not 1.
Well, we can fund 5. Plus, beggars can't be choosers.
Okay. Keep on saying, guys.
Happy birthday, dear Joey.
Wait, guys, stop.
What now?
You didn't even give me a cake. This is a pumpkin.
Well, we couldn't fund a cake. We couldn't make a cake.
Well, you could have at least made me like pumpkin pie.
I don't know how to make pumpkin pie. None of us know how to make pumpkin pie. I don't even know the essential ingredients for making pumpkin pie.
This is the essential ingredient.
Pumpkin.
That's right.
Well, I don't even know the recipe. I don't even know the steps.
This is why I planned years ahead for this exact moment. Right there. So tell me, Jacob, are you ready to do this?
I deeply believe I am.
Then to the kitchen.
I'm only going to say this once. You need evaporated milk, you need an egg, you need dark brown sugar, you need pumpkin, you need salt, and you need white sugar.
You know, Ankit, I don't always make pumpkin pie, but when I do, I use cardamom, I use ginger, ground cloves, I use nutmeg, and cinnamon. And I use a fresh lemon. Alright, we're going to preheat the oven first to 425 for 15 minutes.
Cooking requires elevated heat temperatures to create chemical reactions. Preheating the oven makes these chemical reactions happen more quickly.
Easy. Okay, so we're gonna cut this in half. You're gonna take out the guts. Go.
Alright, now we're going to lower the temperature of the oven down to 350, and we're going to put the pumpkin in. Alright, now we're going to leave it in there for like about an hour.
While the pumpkins are baking, we're going to make the dough for the crust. We start by getting a stick of butter from the fridge. We cut the stick into smaller squares. Once we cut it into squares, we cut it into 1/2-inch cubes.
Alright, now we're going to put in 1.5 cups of flour. We're going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Alright, now we're going to put in half of the butter cubes we cut up earlier. Alright, now once we finish stirring the first half, now we're going to put in the second half of the cubes in here. And then we're going to stir again for another 6 to 8 times. Alright, now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of water. And then we're going to mix a couple times. Alright, now once we finish mixing, now we're going to add 1 more tablespoon of water, and we're going to mix a couple more times.
The reason why we add water to the dough is because the water actually makes the dough stick together, so that's what gives it the sticky feel, as you may call it.
So now, this is how your dough is supposed to look like.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour onto the clear foil. And then as soon as we do this, we're going to make sure that the dough is pressed into a disc. And then put it on top of this. And then after that, sprinkle a little more flour on top of that.
And we're going to leave it in there for like an hour.
Now we spread the flour on the pan so the crust doesn't actually stick on there. So you grab a little bit of flour and spread it around.
So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take our dough, we're going to put it right into this pan right here. As soon as we do that, we're going to spread it around and along the edges, and then we're going to put some flour on top of it. Alright? So let's begin.
Time's up, yo! Alright, now we're going to take it out. 15 minutes have passed. Alright, so just to make sure it's good and it's ready, we just got to poke it with a knife and make sure it goes through.
Alright, so this pumpkin's been sitting out for an hour. Now we're going to scoop out the pumpkin puree. And now we mix. Okay, now we're gonna create the filling of the pumpkin pie. We start off with half a cup of brown sugar. Next, we're gonna use a third cup of white sugar
Half a teaspoon of lemon zest.
and half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, so now with the spices, I'm gonna add 1/4 of nutmeg.
And 1/4 of a teaspoon of cloves.
And now I'll add 1 teaspoon of ground ginger.
And 1/4 of a teaspoon of cardamom.
Now,
2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon.
Okay, now we're gonna put in 2 eggs and the yolk of a third one.
After the eggs, we're going to add the pumpkin puree.
Then we add 12 fluid ounces of evaporated milk.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Okay, so now we're gonna leave it preheating at 425 for 15 minutes, and then we're gonna bring it down to 350, and we're gonna put in the pie.
Okay, after preheating the oven for almost 15 minutes, we will put the pumpkin filling into the pan.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, here we are passing around some water balloons, but let me explain the science behind it. What we're trying to represent is covalent bonds, and at some points we aren't able to share with each other because we aren't following the octet rule, which is having a full amount of valence electrons. But when we are able to share, we happily pass them around. Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna bring the oven down to 350 degrees for 1 hour.
Since nothing came out, that means it is perfect. It is now time to take it out.
Alright, you guys, the pie's done. And the little tips after the pie's done. My favorite, add some whipped cream.
Instead of using 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, we can use 1 20-ounce pack of silken tofu.
Instead of using 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest, you can use 2 teaspoons of vanilla.